Welcome to our today's class. I very warmly welcome to my Zoom audience and the Facebook audience as well. I warmly welcome and greet good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are at the moment, or if you are watching the recording as well. Today is a part two of the important episode number 3, which we started last week, enlightened relationships, and we discussed amazing things last week, and half of the things we covered, and half of the things we decided we will cover this week. So. Uh, let's start from today, and it's I think then the next week we will be doing episode number 4 in the same love-hate relationship series as well. I will discuss with you what content we will be learning next week, but today we are continuing as it is. My name is Maratib Shad. I'm your host and also the mentor, and you can join my YouTube channel and visit my blog website as well. There should be a link below my under the video description. So let's start our today's session. Uh, it's a small reading today, but we will read as well. Mostly, I segmented the old text into quotation from the book The Power of Now from the Eckart Toley, in which we are reading some of the things from chapter 8, uh, where he discussed about how we can build enlightened relationship from the broken or addictive relationships. And we are at the verge at the moment where we are discussing what actually love is. What does it mean by love? And we have three mainstream paradigm about love. Like if I'm loving someone, if I'm caring someone, and in the response I'm getting also love. So we, in a main general stream, we call it's love. That I'm in love or I'm loving. Actually, it's not. Like we said, that love is entirely unconditional emotion. You can't. You can expect somebody can love you in a response, but your true love is only the love when you are doing without any return in the back. So that is a criteria where you can see yourself how you are loving. And by nature, all human beings, each and every human being is a packet of love. It's a source of love. The love we have built them with the love. Exactly like my cells, my body organs have a ground roots of atoms and molecules, and we are dipped in the love. But the problem is when we are growing in the world from the childhood, from infanthood, even let's go back further in the tummy of the mother when the woman is pregnant, that love has started already, and that love is now going to under the clouds of nurturing of the mother, and when the baby will come out, that nurturing will continue, and that nurturing of course is based on love of mother and father, uh, or biological father or biological mother, or whatever who is looking after that newly born baby. But slowly, gradually, that baby or that small human being become part of the environment, become part of the thoughts of the environment, uh, having the people, having the awareness, the level of what we call consciousness, the level of knowledge, the level of uh, hate or level of success and failure, whatever is prevailing in the society, uh, that is going, these clouds are going to cover the love, and that love will seldom felt by that human being, that child, that teenage person, that adult, that older age or middle age or then older people, time to time, when they have very, very precious moments of life. But most of the time, let's say 90-95%, we don't realize that love. And therefore, we replace it with fear, we replace it with insecurity, we replace it with hatred, with jealousy, with other lot of emotions as well. So we born with like a son who is full of Eckart Tolle is saying, who is full of light, and light is representing as a love. And if that light, that love is thrown to the person, to the outer world, it does not uh, valid on him, on the son, that any love is going to be in shortage, or he will lose the love, the sun will lose the sunshine. Sunshine is everywhere, and no matter, it does not matter who is taking a sunshine from the sun does not care. The same thing, we human, if we are loving and we are a source of love, no matter we are taking giving the love to anyone, either they are blood relation, either they are newly in relationship with my girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or wife, or any stranger which we think that he or she is stranger in my world, or if you are going by bus or train, the person sitting next to you in the bus will also or can also receive your love exactly on the same level which you can give to your very loved one or very close one. But in our today's world, we don't realize this as a reality. We think that my love is towards my nearest people, close people, like my children, my grandchildren, my husband, my wife, my girl, my boy, uh, and that's it. And apart from other, all are stranger and they don't deserve my love, and they don't need to have a love from me. And that makes us very, very limited, and that's why we are in trouble because of this limitation. So Eckhart Tolle, in if you see the screen, he is saying love is not selective, just as the light of the sun is not selective. It does not make one person special. It is not exclusive. So love is not exclusive. It is for everyone. That's the main point he wants to make. So if we are in relationship of husband and wife, or boss and employee, or any other, so don't think that your love should be confined only few people or stuff like that. Otherwise, it will be replaced by our ego. It will be replaced by our other stuff as well. Yeah, Jenny has some comments or thought or question. Please, what you have.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, Maratib. The screen, we can't see it. Are we supposed to? It's black.
Oh, on the Zoom?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know, but why
Oh,
is
yeah.
okay?
Cynthia let me know. I mean, I was listening, but I thought maybe he just knows it's black right now.
Oh, sorry about that. I think it's maybe some technical fault. Let me try to try to share again. Let me see. Okay. Yeah. Now you can see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
now
you.
we can. Or now I can.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate for your not giving me notice. That
Yeah,
may be
thank you,
the
Cynthia.
technical thing. Yeah. So let's reconnect our. So love is not selective. Just the light of the sun is not selective. It is for everyone. It does not make one person special. For sun, nobody is special. Everyone is special, and because everyone is taking a sunshine. Like Jenny is enjoying in Georgia from the sun every day as well. So it does.
Yeah.
So sun does not differentiate that Maratib is sitting in London. I will not be sun producing sunshine in London area or in, uh, but it is for everyone, for entire Earth as well. So that's the main message. Eckart Tolle is saying that he's giving us the brand new and very deep paradigm about love. And uh, yeah, so if we don't have a love, then, or if my love is under the clouds of my nurturing, or my uh, what I call it, or some people call it bad learning or knowledge or information I have in my mind. So that ego mind will actually uh, will producing anxiety, sufferings, fear, and it can turn into and reflect through my physical symptom as a diseases, my mental weaknesses, my spiritual weaknesses, my emotional imbalances. So that will reflect through these a lot of reflections. But all will be now operated by my ego mind, my ego, because love has now disappeared. More I will be not aware from love, my ego will overcome to of my love dimension of my being, my existence. So I found this how the ego and love works in relationship. I think it's too short to read. Maybe I can, let me try to stretch it. Maybe I can make it little big and we can read it. Yeah, so somehow I will. Uh, it's a lot of text here, but I think somebody can read it. So, Jenny, are you able to read it?
I think I can handle that. I've had half a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Okay, so ego versus love and how they show up in relationships. The ego believes forgiveness is a sign of weakness. It fears letting go.
Mm-hmm.
The ego is afraid of love. It fears what it can't control. The ego believes dishonesty is the best strategy, fear of truth. The ego believes that intimacy is a trap, fear of transparency. The ego believes relationships are about getting needs met, fear of giving. The ego is always on the lookout for BBD or bigger, better deals, fear of happiness. The ego keeps constant score of injustices, hurt, and flaws, fear of compassion. The ego is heavily invested in the past, fear of the present. The ego constantly seeks unearned advantages, fear of hard work. The ego treats sex as a sport, and the number of partners determines the score, fear of intimacy.
Thank you. It's a great reading. You see how the ego is covering almost all areas of life, important areas, from physical to mental, from social to emotional, and from individual to interdependent. Everything is under control of ego if the people are driven by ego mind or ego. And what is creating, actually, if you see, is a brilliant text that in response of every ego action you are getting fear. Here is a fear of letting go. Here is a fear that you cannot control. Here, fear of truth, fear of transparency, fear of happiness, fear of compassion, fear of present. You see, when you are driven by ego, you are under in fear, clouds of fear all the time. And that is very, very dangerous for many people. And that's why we all, even we have a lot of money, our house, our in some house, some relationships as well, but we are under threat of fear. We have insecurities, we have guilties, and in that situation you can determine which state of being you are. So you can say that you are now ego driven, uh, ego driven uh, being, not the love driven being. So that is a difference, and you will not have true love. You will not have a true happiness, whether you are in multiple partners, when you are involving in physical intimacy. Either you are becoming a millionaire, or either you are on a very high social status, or anything. Nothing will make you true happiness as well. This is the mind blowing paradigm or dimension we are reading here. We are, I mean, it is being revealed onto us now. So let's talk, let's see how the love does for us, and in contrast with ego, when we are creating enlightened relationship. So, yeah, if Cynthia, you can read the love section if you are able to read the text.
So far, yes.
Yeah.
Love will be the first place to forgive. Love is kind because kindness given always just keeps coming back. Love is patient because love is forever and forever is a constant state. Love gives all and therefore receives all. Love is compassionate because it accepts human beings as they are. Love is fearless because it knows its own power. Love is willing because nothing is impossible to a willing heart. Love is gentle because it extends mercy. Love has desires but makes no demands. Love commands but does not control. Love is found in the mind, not in the body. Love lives in the now because the present is eternal. Love hides nothing because it has nothing to hide. Love never fails because it never competes. Love wins because it alone is real.
Thank you very much. It's a great reading. You see how the love overlaps the old deficiency and failure and fear created by ego mind or ego being. So, love is the only and ultimate emotions and action what we can do in our life. But it's opposite in our current life. We think that if we are loving, caring about my colleague, about my customer, about my partner, then that is my weakness because of fear of something which we have. So it's operating continuously, it's happening continuously, and that's affect our relationship in and how we can transform our relationship, enlightened relationship, that we have to replace our ego with the love. No matter who we are near with, no matter who we are dealing with, then your customer, your blood relations, your strangers, what you call them, all are same. When you are source of love, then there is no ego. When you are going your office on the bus or public transport in the tube or train, that person next sitting to you will be no stranger for you, and that's the how your totally life will change. It's a mind-blowing idea, reality we are reading here. So let's continue further about what the Eckart Tolle is saying about if we are loving someone, does it mean that the other person will also reflect that love to us or not? Which is very difficult. Many people love someone because they are getting more, or at least on the same level of love to in a reply, in a return as well. I love my wife because my wife is also loving me. I love my child because my child also came to me. I love my boss or my company because my company or boss is also caring me. That is a very fair worldly view about love, and I'm happy with that. I'm satisfied. But in a truly way, it is incomplete thing. Eckhart Tolle is saying something else, something more sophisticated. So let's try to read it. So I would ask Javeria if you can read it, please.
However, the intensity with which true love is felt can vary. There may be one person who reflects your love back to you more clearly and more intensely than others, and if that person feels the same towards you, it can be said that you are in a relationship with him or her. The bond that contact you with that person is the same bond that connects you with the person sitting next to you on a bus, or with the bird, a tree, a flower. Only the degree of intensity with which it is felt difference
Thank you.
differs.
Yeah, thank you. It's a great reading. So, I mean, your love is covering everything. You don't need to take or borrow love from anyone. Um, it will stretch towards birds, animals, physical objects around you, your loved one, your blood relation, your non-blood relation, anyone, and look at how the positive difference you will create not only in your life, but everyone will love to you. Without you will make any difference with them. This bonding is so much foundational and is actually natural, but because we are living in artificial life, therefore actually this dimension of life which is full of love looks like dreamy, look like extremely idealistic, look like it's not applicable in our practical life. But the truth is opposite. Now, if I say to you, my audience, that we all know that the human beings are those creatures or creation who walks with the two foot, left foot and right foot, and we walk. Everybody knows from thousands of years, and based on that truth or that fact, we made our whole human being paradigm with our own around self. And if I ask you, do you know there are some human being who who walks not with foot, who walks with hands? Then what you will view or consider that type of human being? Will you categorize them as a different human being or the same human being? Many people will consider is a different creature, because all human beings which we know and we observe, we experience, they walk with 2 foot, not with 2 hands. But if you go into the city or the country where all human beings are walking with hands and with upside down, hands are on the ground floor, and legs are towards up towards the sky, what you will say? How you will rate them? How you will see them? Obviously, their realities will be very different from what we know. So that's why we are living in a very different world, because where everything is fixed, we have been told that this is a reality and these are the facts and we need to follow this only, and there is nothing beyond them. And if you will go beyond what we know today in America, in Australia, in UK, in Middle East, in Asia, in Pakistan, in India, in everywhere, then it will be exactly like that. People are walking with 2 hands, isn't it? And this extremist and narrow-minded view has made our lives too much uh, difficult, full of fears, full of aggression, and full of unfulfillment. No matter how many hard workness I'm doing it, I know so many couples who do breakups after every week. They fight with each other, and then next week they live together as a normal couple. Then they fight with each other, and then they live normal. And this is a repeatedly and accepted norms of the life. It happens with everyone. They didn't know, they don't know, or they will not know it's not normal. Because of our bad teaching from the society and our lowest conscious level, we are habitual to accept this thing as a reality, and we think it's a truth that husband and wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, they always fight with each other, and they at the same time they have intimacy in next few days or months as well. Or if it get worse, they will end in divorce or separation, and that's it. No, this is something which is really needs to relearn in order to make our relationship ideal and enlightened. That we need to know. Now, uh, Eckart Tolle is further saying that uh, when we in our life, the moment of enlightened moment, when we are very close to our partner, to our any loved one or any friend even, it happens as well. We know that when we feel this extreme union of two people because of love, there is no threat, there is no fear on that time. Anybody can tell me any incident of the life when there is no any fear in the life, any stage of in your life or anyone's life which you can predict. On that stage or on that moment, there is no any conflict or no any ego appears between you and other people. Can you count any of those moments? For example, I give you one example. when uh, when a child is just at the verge of birth, and when the woman is giving a birth to the child, when she and her partner both all together with the newborn baby, and both are full of love, both are seeing and looking the newborn baby, and all three with one another with extreme love. There is no fear on that time. There is no ego between them. Only love prevails. You got my point. That is one of the point which we feel, but we feel or we see, we experienced very temporarily, isn't it? That type of other moments, can somebody count me? Jenny, Cynthia, uh, Javeria, or anyone who is on Facebook, when there is no ego and we experience that moment or that stage of life, when we are full of love, when we care the other partner extremely without any ego, or not the partner, just a relationship with other person. So that could be, let's say, if you see the screen, Eckart Tolle is saying that when there is a miracle of childbirth is happening, when somebody is dying actually, then also we feel extremely love towards them. For example, if your dad, your mom, your husband, your wife, your son, your grandson, anybody has died or is just going to die in few minutes, that moment is a really ego-less moment. Or when somebody is seriously ill, or when there is a physical intimacy between a couple, physical relationship, uh, they maybe they are hugging or kissing or whatever they are doing with extreme care. These are moments we experience as well, or we can experience them as well, but they come momently, they disappear after a few moments, after a few maybe minutes or hour. But the people who are with living with the source of love, they live forever with the same spirit, like you these four moments or dimension which Eckart Tolle is saying. It's not wonder that you are always in love with your partner, with someone is dying, somebody is seriously ill, or when your wife is giving a birth or your partner is giving a birth to the child as well. Or there are so many other incident or moments when you can feel extremely ego less life, isn't it? So these are the moments which we can experience. Now the last thing for the day is now when we are in one union with my partner, with anyone, then the true communication happens. And due to this oneness, there will be no misunderstanding. There will be no any misjudgment about each other. Many people, when I'm talking with someone, let's say I'm talking with my wife, or my wife is talking with me. I'm talking with my friend, very dear friend, or he or she is talking with me, and we misinterpret each other, or we misunderstood each other, or we misjudge each other. Then why this has happened? Because of we are not aligned with each other. We either one side has a fear or other side has a other level of fear, and when they communicate, this fear collides with each other, and that creates misunderstanding. This creates miscommunication, and other person and it also leads towards long term conflict as well. But when there is no any fear or egoless relationship, or we call it enlightened relationship, then the communication is so simple, extremely simple. Can you imagine that if your dad is dying or your mother is dying, and he or she is at the deathbed, whatever she is saying to you, or you are expressing your emotion towards your mother or father or any loved one, can you believe that other person will not understand? Even the very minute or the thin point, the other person picks very, very accurately, isn't it? Or when you are in physical intimacy with your partner, or when you are hugging your child with or patting your partner or child, like in a deep intimacy, and you are talking or whispering with each other, can you believe that other person does not receive the message what you are going to tell him or her? No, nothing, nothing miscommunicates on that time. Nothing misunderstood on that time, isn't it? It's very reality in our life, because the true communication only is possible when we are living fear-free life, full of love. So let's try to read last paragraph from the book, and then we will finish it. So I would ask my colleague Jenny, she can read it, please.
True communication is communion, the realization of oneness, which is love. Usually, this is quickly lost again unless you are able to stay present enough to keep out the mind and its old patterns. As soon as the mind and mind identification return, you are no longer yourself but a mental image of yourself, and you start playing games and roles again to get your ego needs met. You are a human mind again, pretending to be a human being, interacting with another mind, playing a drama called love. Although brief glimpses are possible, love cannot flourish unless you are permanently free of mind identification and your presence is intense enough to have dissolved the pain body, or you can at least remain present as the watcher. The pain body cannot then take you over and so become destructive of love.
Thank you. It's a great reading. So you see, the this is a reflection how we call our drama of the life, our ego-driven emotion as a love, because we think that my ego-based mind will um, in intimacy with my partner, and I call it love, which is Eckart Tolle is saying is a drama in a negative sense. Is talking about, and because always remember, when you are full of love, then it means you are selfless. It means you are fearless. But if you are not full of love, then you are with insecurities, with egos, with fears, and with ego mind. And ego mind will start to manipulate the realities what it suits to the mind. And then the phenomena which Stephen Covey says self-fulfilling prophecy start to happen. The self-fulfilling prophecy is the ego mind activity in which mind uh, try to clarify what he or she is thinking, and more importantly he or she tries to make it as a truth, and that's we call self-fulfilling prophecy, and that is an activity of my mind. For example, I have a glass and it is full of water and I'm drinking it. For example, I'm drinking a wine and I need to prove it I'm drinking a wine, but actually it's a water. But I want to trap or lie with someone more sophisticatedly, more cleverly, more intelligently, then my mind will try to gather that data which will apply on this visual experience to the observer, that and I will make it prove that it is a wine, and I will try my best and it will be proved as well. So therefore when the arguments happens on any matter in the life, every party has their strong argument because everybody is driven by ego mind, and they will bring the new facts or the same facts in a um, with the new knowledge or with the new logic to make it more rationalized, and it seems that they are winning the situation, and maybe they won as well, it's but in reality it is all deception. And the time when the time fleets, then that all look like a true evidence you provide or argument you provided on that time will seems to be a childish act when you will think the past even with the conscious eye, or with the selfless being when you will evaluate your previous life on certain situation, isn't it? So that is how our ego mind play games. And in our today's world, people who plays more game, we salute them, we admire them, we we make them, we praise them publicly, or and say he or she is fantastic, she is so clever, she or he is so intelligent, because how he or she tries to manipulate the data and gather the information what suits of her or his statement as a truth, and the, but actually that's all deception. It's a temporary win, which is a fake win we call, but because it's a based on ego mind, it's based on some fears in the mind, therefore it cannot be a reflection of true love. So like Eckart Tolle is saying, he's saying love cannot flourish unless you are permanently free of mind identification and your presence is intense enough to have dissolved the pain body. What does it mean by presence is intense? Like you are present in the moment. You are not in the past, or you are not in the future. You are living right present moment. Then your pain body, whatever the body is feeling the pain, or you may have some disease look like, it will all dissolve. Did you see that? I will tell you this example. When let's say having a headache or tummy ache, or maybe lower back pain or some pain, but suddenly something happen in your life, or you try to focus on something important urgently on something, then all the pain, body, or wherever you were feeling before, all disappear immediately. Isn't it? For example, let me give you example. Let's say I have a very bad lower back pain, and I have this ache for many days, and I'm just also feeling I'm in suffering, I'm in pain body. Suddenly, a line I start to see, a line is coming to and jumping towards me, and then what I will do? I will be shocked, and my suddenly my whole pain body will dissolve because I'm in my present moment now. As soon as I see the line and the line is coming towards jumping to you, that made you horrified, but more importantly, you start to live or feel the present moment where you are now, and everything just disappeared, all pain. That is the significance of present moment in the life, living with the present moment. And uh, or he's saying, or you can at least remain present as a watcher, or something is happening without any judging, without going in past or future, just to observe it, just see everything as a watcher, as a just a watcher. And that watcher is you, is your being, which is ego free, which is fear free. And then the love will not be destructive, and your all decision, your wisdom will prevail the situation on that time. So that's how we can grow our or nurture our relationship as an enlightened relationship. Um, so that's all quick but thoughtful and in depth, uh, the relationship of love and the ego in under in order to establish true relationship or destructive or addictive relationship, which Eckart Tolle is saying. What do you think about? What are your thoughts? What you have any question about? You want to share any story?
Well,
Yeah,
I think egos come and go as well as being in love.
yeah, it happens.
I think you can be in love and you can still have an ego.
Uh, but obviously, Eckart Tolle is saying this is not love. This is a drama. He is calling it as a drama because when there is a love, there is no ego at all, and when there is ego, it means there is no love, or your love is hidden or hidden from the situation or the cloud. What he is saying. But the people who are mixing love and ego all together, they actually not have a true love on that time. But he is trying to pointing the thing, because love remains and sustained forever, for long term, until uh, your ego mind start to overcome on your mind or your body or on your being, until it will prevail. Like the child is a child is a best state of human being, which is egoless or the least egoless. So imagine the child has always, it does show always loved, no argument about the stuff. That child only orgo whatever he or she has learned from the society, from the parents, from the environment. But overall, that child is absolute ego free. He or she does not afraid to take courage, take bold step, because he is fearless. He does not know. He or she does not learn what is actually fear means. But that slowly, when he or she start to grow up, then the all insecurity and fears he or she start to learn, and that become or store in the mind as a memory and become a past event. And but that past memory start to operate you from hidden, from the behind in your present life, and you actually out of present now, because now, oh, you are driven by your past memory, um, and past, um, and that goes further as well. But ego and love cannot be stay together. That's but Eckart Tolle is saying there are moments when you feel entirely love, ego free, or many other moments as well, when you are in physical relationship, when somebody is dying or somebody is seriously ill, or when woman is giving birth to child, or many other moments, there is so on special moments, that love actually erupts from you, because that was already inside you, but that erupts on that time, so that your ego should be dissolved on that time, and because of the condition of the moment on that time, but both cannot leave each other with all together, and that is a litmus test, that any stage of my time when you need to think that, or when you are confused that I'm a right or wrong. Many people, did I say something silly thing, or did I say right thing, or did I act wrong thing, or did I act good thing? Then this litmus test, you can see my intention was triggered by my ego or my love. If it is a in result of love, then you say you are right. And if it is triggered by your any fear or any ego or any past event, then it is wrong. That is a brilliant uh, a mastery you can get in that time.
I'm so this class is very interesting, and it is that the ego and the love can't survive at once. Of course, you love someone even when your ego is not in check, but you can't, show your love or feel your love like you normally would, because ego seems to be in the way, like a wall or a barrier. And when you say, like, in the presence of death, or someone seriously ill, that's true. Like, if you were to find out someone you love and care about is all of a sudden, fatally ill, they say, well, you've been given 2 months to live. Then all of a sudden you're looking at this person that you love, and all of your ego just fell to the floor. There's none of it now. Like, the things that normally would have, hurt you with your past experiences with that person, that would be a wall in the way, where you would be like, you're not going to treat me that way. So and so did that before. I will not put up with that from you or anybody. That would be a wall of, no love. Or something in the future where maybe you think that someone's going to do something to you because, you've made it up in your mind. But then all of a sudden, the ego being gone because of this particular situation that's changed, all of a sudden you start understanding the person's behavior and looking at them differently and loving them in a way that maybe you don't really get to do. And it is based on fear. All of those ego things you said are fear, 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 some sort of scary thing. So I think if we love each other in the moment, you don't worry about the past, you don't worry about the future, you have that particular moment, then you can have true love, because there's nothing in the way. There's no ego, there's no fear.
Yeah, that's fine. That's right. Um, yeah, you pointed out very practically these things, uh, and I'm sure you are agree what we are learning today, that ego and love are is like a opposite to each other, but but the true love remains forever with you, whereas the ego is a built-in, you have made up. Ego was not with you when you were born. That's the main point. And when because your love source is suppressed un, under the made up ego when you grow up in the life in different stage, but that source of love erupts in different situation. Um and these are the sign when you live in the present moment, out of past or future, live a very joyful moment. We call it very joyful moment as well. um, I remember many romantic relationships when the two souls are very near to each other, and maybe in a form of physical intimacy in a deep, or they are sharing with each other without any misunderstanding. These moments often are very precious moment, because later in their life, when their ego stands out and they are lack of love, their memory recall on these precious moment as well, and that source of give you inspiration as well, that oh yes, these times used to be in our life, and let's restore them back. So these movements actually become a source of inspiration as well, when you were very close with someone, uh, and you want to get rid of your ego. But um, there is one point which I want to make it, that it may look an impression that ego is the worst thing which anybody have. It is, but when the person is enlightened, when the person is living with fully conscious and awareness, then this ego is driven under your conscious, and then your ego is not remain ego, it becomes part of yourself, and you be of your existence as well. But I'm talking about journal. 90 to 99% people in our world who are ego driven, and their ego is not under the enlightened soul or consciousness. Their ego is a main controller of the life, and that is a irritating and frustrated for, and leading to failure for most of the people. That ego I'm condemning, or mostly people or mentors, in a true sense, they condemn that ego, not the ego under the true consciousness. So many people who are living in this world, maybe they are prophets, maybe they are mentors, maybe they are gurus, they are spiritual healers, or maybe they belongs to church or mosque or any temple. They have a capacity that they can control their ego very, very sophisticatedly, very, very intelligently. They are using their mind. It does not mean that they are not using their mind, but their mind is ego free. Now their mind is under consciousness, rather than the consciousness is under mind, which is a mainstream uh, thing. So that is a different approach. Some people uh, they send me the message as well that you condemn ego too much as well, and I'm giving them the clarification about understanding the ego, and ego under the consciousness or consciousness under the ego, both have a very different results and different type of people. You will know. And these enlightened relationships, when you are living with your wife, with your husband, with your loved one, or anyone, where you are trying to build great, create ideal relationships, synergistic relationship, you are under consciousness, which means that your ego is under consciousness, which you are now selfless. And there is a chances that the next few moments or in few hours or few days or few months, it will become opposite now. And you, because of our world, uh, because of our survival mode, our so that's something happens as well.
I want to say one more thing. I think there's a difference in ego and boundaries. Boundaries are healthy. So I don't think that, like, when you have a boundary such as something that someone's crossing, it's not your ego responding, it's the demand for respect. Because your love partner should respect you and your boundaries. If they know they're doing something that crosses them all the time, it's not an ego response. That's a stand your ground response that can sometimes become difficult. So it can't be confused.
So
Like if your partner is cheating on you, say with other women, like, that's a boundary. That's not your ego responding. That's, look, we're not going to put up with this. And if that's something you're going to do and you cross that, then, I don't think that's your ego responding, saying about you. That's a boundary. There's differences.
yeah, I understand from your perspective, or many people. Um, yeah, I mean it's very tricky and complex thing. But in a truly manner, like in absolute truth, in the context of absolute truth, if your partner is cheating you, you still loving with her or him as well. If you were in truly love with your partner, no matter he or she is now with other relationship with someone or as well, because we're living in a ego mind world and with survival mode of mind as well, where we have made boundaries that this is your boundary, you cannot cross over it, and I will not cross over it. This is our what we call our adjustment, our rules of love or surviving with each other. I'm talking about something beyond. When you are in fully love with someone, you don't need their love in a response back. That's the point. You don't expect someone that they will not create relationship with someone. When you are making boundaries for them, it means this is a ego driven agreement between each other, and that will collapse. And many people, they make with each other many boundaries. We seldom that they break these boundaries in later in the life, and they betrayed with each other, they make other people lie, and that make another form of suffering. And when you are not expecting that your partner will give you love in back, or he or she will not in another love with someone, if you are not putting the boundaries, I believe this freedom will perpetuate love inside that your partner, and morally he or she will not extend any relationship because such a freedom you have given him or her. I know this is very difficult, which I'm talking about. But in reality, once you will give the freedom, entirely freedom of yourself and to your partner not to love you back, then you actually inviting that person that he will also give you unconditional love as well in the back as well. But like we said, we are living in a very different world where we have limited exposure of true love, and in majority exposure of our own made up boundaries and relationship etiquettes and fairs and foul system in all cultures and society. And it has to be break as well, people break it. That's why is therefore I think the husband and wife relationship is also a made up relationship, in a truly sense. I mean, it is my world has created this relationship, and it means that it will break up as well eventually. Husband and relationship, husband and wife relationship or partners relationship is not loveful relationship, which I'm talking about, the enlightened relationship. Enlightened relationship is something beyond from husband and wife relationship. And yes, in the as a husband and wife relationship, you can turn this relationship as an enlightened relationship. But if you want to say that you will remain wife or you will remain husband in our culture's boundary, and at the same time as an enlightened relationship, that will a paradox. It will create a paradox of each other. It cannot be possible. Actually, our next class is about this concept which I'm talking about. Is that relationship as a spiritual practice. That when we are in relationship, can these relationship turn into a enlightened relationship, a spiritual relationship? If I'm living with my wife, if I'm living with my other any partners, a relationship. So that will maybe answer of some of your question uh, about. But certainly one thing is clear: these boundaries are creation of our ego mind to survive in this world. Beyond absolute truth, beyond absolute reality, what the things are as it is. Um, but here we are talking about something beyond world. Here we're talking about something beyond metaphysical, more spiritual in context, more in deepest context as well, where we actually attain the quality of relationship, where we are in oneness. But that oneness cannot be in our husband and wife relationship, unfortunately, because of certain set of expectation, in certain set of boundaries which we put, that does not give you the desired result. And where that, like Cynthia is also mentioning, uh, that we will live with ego and love all together time to time, but that love is a drama love. That is not the true love which we meant to create, we meant to know, we meant to aware about that. That's the Eckart Tolle is saying as well, which is very, very close to entire reality, close to absolute reality or absolute truth as well. Um, but we will continue in episode 4 the same point, uh, that if we want to maintain the relationship as a spiritual practice, is that possible? And if it's possible, which paradigm we need to make? If I'm living with my wife, if I'm living with my husband, if I'm living with my partner, if I'm living with my boss or friend and family or any relationship, how we can do it? So that's the thing which we can learn in the next episode, hopefully, so in episode number 4. So that's it. Uh, I hope that you may have learned or different things in this class. I will love to have your feedback. You can leave a comment below, um, and I will read this comment as well, and I will try to give you answer as well. But stay continued till this series is continuing as it is, and even after that episode 4, there is next episode is also very important, where that why women are superior in spiritual sense, why women are more closer to spiritual growth than men. uh, that's again is a very, very important topic for today's, which will help us to understand the gender war or the differences of the gender or understand in a different reality with different perspective. Thank you very much, and join my YouTube channel or read my blog, and I will see you next Sunday. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Maratib. That was such a great class. I'm going to think about it for a while now. Thank you.
Thank you.
It
Appreciate
was really good.
it.
You guys have a good week.
You too.